The emergence of social responsibility globally. New frameworks are emerging to meet the challenges of the world order for the status quo. Social responsibility today is defined by the needs not only with the community but also by the world. Gone are the monolithic ideas of a static community defined by geography, language, culture, customs, or norms. It is now replaced with the encompassing idea of citizenship that goes beyond the self and is now transcending the idea of a global village where accountability is no longer just shared by communities, organizations, or states, but everyone living on this planet. The shift is also because of the world's challenges from environmental pollution, forest degradation, dwindling food security, access to clean water, education, and others. The United Nations best captures these challenges with the creation of Millennium Development Goals and is now updated of the Sustainable Development Goals or SDG, which was adopted by the member of United Nations in 2015. And these are the SDG or global goals that are collection of 17 interlinked global goals designed to be a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity for people and the planet now and into the future. The 17 goals are no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions, and lastly, partnerships for the goals. Social responsibility now intersects with the global needs that should be prioritized, from individuals to companies and other mechanisms to help in aiding global progress. The need for a new framework for social responsibility should be addressed.
The MDG centers on five principles: people, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership. People. We are determined to end poverty and hunger in all their forms and dimensions, and to ensure that all human beings can fulfill their potential in dignity and equality and a healthy environment. Planet. We are determined to protect the planet from degradation, including sustainable consumption and production, sustainably managing its natural resources, and taking urgent action on the climate change to support the needs of the present and future generations. Prosperity. We are determined to ensure that all human beings can enjoy prosperous and fulfilling lives and that economic, social, and technological progress occur in harmony with nature. Peace. We are determined to foster peaceful, just, and inclusive societies that are free from fear and violence. There can be no sustainable development without peace, and no peace without sustainable development. Partnership. We are determined to mobilize the means required to implement this agenda through a revitalized global partnership for sustainable development, based on a spirit of strengthened global solidarity, focused in particular on the needs of the poorest and most vulnerable, and with the participation of all countries, all stakeholders, and all people. The interlinkages and integrated nature of the Sustainable Development Goals are of crucial importance in ensuring that the purpose of the new agenda is realized. If we realize our ambitions across the full extent of the agenda, the lives of all will be profoundly improved and the world will be transformed for the better.
Millennium Development Goals 2000 to 2015. There are 8 development goals. What are these? First, eradicate extreme poverty and hunger. Second, achieve universal primary education. Third, promote gender equality and women empowerment. Fourth, reduce child mortality. Fifth, improve maternal health. Sixth, combat HIV, AIDS, malaria, and others. 7. Ensure environmental sustainability. 8. Develop a global partnership for development. First goal. By improving agricultural productivity and incomes and promoting better nutritional practices at all levels and programs that enhance direct and immediate access to food by the neediest. Second goal is to achieve universal primary education, more specifically to ensure that by 2015, children everywhere, boys and girls alike, will be required to complete a full course of primary schooling. Education is vital to meeting all other Millennium Development Goals. Educating children gives the next generation the tools to fight poverty and prevent disease, including malaria and AIDS. Third goal. More women are now joining the workforce and are given chances to study and earn more rights. Fourth goal. Fewer than 17,000 children die per day. Improve complementary feeding for young children. Giving foods in addition to breast milk is an important way to prevent undernutrition and reduce child mortality. Fifth goal. Maternal mortality dropped by 45%. However, prenatal care remains scarce in frontier and developing countries. Sixth goal. Deaths due to HIV and malaria have dropped down by 40%, but the problem of the spread of HIV and AIDS remains today due to the lack of sexual education and access to reproductive health supplies. Seventh goal. The natural resources based on ecosystems must be managed sustainably to meet people's food requirements and other environmental, social, and economic needs. Climate change, increased water scarcity, and conflicts over access to resources all pose challenges to environmental sustainability and food security. The last goal. Global trade has improved and now even aid has drastically improved to $134.8 billion 2013. Provides advice and technical assistance for governments, institutions, and rural communities to strengthen capacities in agricultural, information management, and the use of modern information and communication technologies. Undoubtedly, there is more to do, and sovereign states, non-governmental organizations, and others need all the help they can get, and this is where corporate entities can help through the power of social responsibility.
social responsibility in Australia Oceania. Australia has yet to reach the same complexity in field of CSR practice. Australia has been leading in a completely new category that is contextually unique to them, and this is about CSR projects linked with indigenous minorities. The Native Title Act that was inclusive.to the rights of the minorities, even if it was hated by the business sector, through the years it has helped in molding the working relationship of local Aboriginal people with the mining industry through cooperative practices and partnership. Other critical policies that followed, Financial Services Reform Act 2001 required the disclosure, labor, social, environmental, and ethical standards and investments for companies offering financial products and services. Corporations Act 2001 and 2004 mandated companies to show details pertaining violations of environmental laws as well as licenses in their annual reports. Governance concerns CSR standards in Australia are guided and primarily supported by their government. It is essentially organic and tailor-made to their needs.
Immediate concerns in Africa. Governance concerns. Even if democracy is an uphill battle for most African states, working conditions are improving overall also due to the help of both international government and non-governmental organizations that contribute to legislation that possibly impact the people. Humanitarian concerns. These are humanitarian issues in Africa. Still, there are many social problems that they are currently facing, such as human trafficking, child labor, recruitment of child soldiers, local militias, and epidemics such as HIV, AIDS, and Ebola. Environmental concerns. These are environmental issues. Because of potential of natural resources, Africa has been on the radar for both legal and unscrupulous traders. Lacking proper government oversight, the gains that are reaped from this business rarely benefit or trickle down to the communities themselves.
Our practices in Africa. The history of CSR in South Africa was mainly dominated by the notion of corporate philanthropic responsibility, predominantly pre-1984. CSR initiative in South Africa first mainly derived from the banking, mining, and oil industries in the early 1970s. CSR practices in Africa comes from Western entities. There are four types of CSR. First, environmental responsibility. Environmental responsibility, the duty to that a company has to operate in a way that protect the environment. The second is ethical responsibility. It's the ability to recognize, interpret, and act upon multiple principles and values according to the standard within a given field and or a context. The third is the philanthropic responsibility. Philanthropic responsibility refers to a corporation aim, goals, and objectives for actively bettering society as a whole. The last is economic responsibility. Refers to the practice of making financial decisions based on a commitment to doing good. Let's proceed to the social responsibility in Asia. Is an important issue in contemporary business management and politics, especially since the launch at the United Nations Global Compact in 2000 as an initiative to encourage business worldwide.
Focus in Europe. Focus in European efforts to achieve sustainable corporate practices in the region, gather more traction and commitment with the business community, and encourage other sectors such as governments and other organizations to pitch in, including non-governmental organizations, interest groups, the academic, and even individuals to pu- to champion and push social responsibility. Goals in Europe: capacity and competence building, equity and health, environment, entrepreneurship, innovation and research. Goals Goals in Europe: capacity and competence building, equity and health, environment, entrepreneurship, innovation and CSR in Europe is also holistic by tapping multiple sectors in their CSR missions from employees, customers, communities, and even other businesses. It also used varied approaches such as looking into socio-political, institutional, population, and technological factors in their practice. Also factors efficacy, brand reputation, and trust are more important for business concerning their stakeholders. Governance concern. CSR practice in Europe is driven by businesses with strong support from organizations. Because this ecosystem, there is a mutually beneficial relationship between government and private sector, even if CSR practices may vary, but their goals and approaches are mostly shared among them. In conclusion, governmental organizations, governments, and businesses are the drivers of CSR of growth in Europe. A guide to CSR in Europe country insights by CSR Europe's national partner organizations. CSR Europe is the European businesses network for corporate social responsibility with around 70 multinational member companies and 27 national partner organizations in 23 European countries. As a diverse network of membership-based CSR organizations, CSR Europe's national partners work with companies and stakeholders across Europe to raise awareness, build capacity, and support the development and implementation of CSR. Through collaborative action and membership services, the network strives to lead the responsible business movement at the local, European, and international level.